All right, we're going to be starting right now. Hi, everyone. I see that there are 4 of you here. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I am going to be working on a task card type of activity. All right, we're going to be starting right now. What is that? Where is it? Hi, everyone. Hold on. I see that there are 4 of you here. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I am going to be working on a task card type of activity. Well, yikes. Okay. I had started the live so that I can share it on Facebook like I always do. So if you're part of the Facebook group, I always share the link right ahead of time, and I forgot to close that tab out. So that's why. Sorry if you can hear all that. Before I dive right in, for those of you that are here, I am going to be sharing in the chat a link to the fundraiser that I did for my son a long time ago. There are 50 templates in here. I am going to share it in just a little bit so that you can have these templates. Just make sure that you star the folder if you open it up, and then you can make copies in there as you want into your own drive. So it won't let you make a copy unless you set a folder to make a copy into, because you are not the owner of this folder. But you'll have access to any of these templates. I'm going to be using 2 of them for today, but if you want them for the future, you have them in there. I am going to remove this link, though, from the chat in a little bit, so that it is just for those of you that are joining me live. I will share, though, the ones that I use during the live. As always, those will be shared for free. So anything that I use during the live, you'll have access to. But if you want a bunch of other templates, they are going to be in the chat. Okay, but I'll share that when we get there. Just a little rundown of what I'm going to be doing. I don't want a lot of fluff at the beginning or anything like that, because I just want to get this done within an hour like I've been doing for every of the other lives. So one announcement, though, before any of that: if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, right? That definitely helps me. It's going to help me continue having these lives every week as I grow, right? And gets me excited. It makes me want to actually continue. But I did want to share that on my channel at the moment, I do have a giveaway going on. So if you click on this video, it says the ugliest bag in the world, and you watch that, there are instructions on that giveaway. It ends next Friday, so there's still a week left for it. I am giving away 2 Stanley Cups. You can see them in the thumbnail. So I encourage you to hop on over to that side of my YouTube channel and at least watch that video so you can be entered into the giveaway. Personally, I like entering all the YouTube giveaways because I won a couple. Actually, my next video, one of my videos next week is about I won $100 Coach gift card, and I'm gonna do a little video on what I bought with said gift card. All right. Any questions that you ask on the chat, I will make sure to answer. So don't hold them back. If you are wondering how I do anything, just let me know and I will answer them live. That's what I'm here for. You can always catch this on the replay as well. So if you are part of that replay crew, thank you so much as well. Just make sure you check that description box for all of the links. So this is what I'm going to be covering today. So when I taught AP statistics, this is where I started making these types of activities, the task card activities. And that was because there were problems that required a lot of text. So it was really hard to get one question into just like a tiny little box. Like, for example, a multiplication or an equation or a sentence, right? Those are really easy to create when you have a small space. But when you need an entire paragraph, you need a lot more room for that. So I started these types of activities with the task cards where you select the problem from a drop-down menu. So for example, here's question 1. And there's a lot of text, and then you answer it on question 1 here. So for this particular one, it is a chi-square test. So they are finding the chi-square test statistic and then the p-value for that test for all of these. So it's practice for AP Stats. If all of this sounds like a completely different language, maybe you don't teach AP Statistics, and that's okay. But I did want to show a good example with just a ton of text, okay? But just like you can have a ton of text, you can also have a lot of images, right? So task cards are fun in that sense. You can take any of the task cards that you have and turn them into these types of activities. So I'm going to share this in case you teach AP Statistics and you want this chi-square test activity. There it is. And then this is what it ends up looking like, right? So here are all the answers, and this is the image that shows up. So if you want the answer key, here is that. And here's another example. This one is not a task card, but this also utilizes drop downs, and this is another AP Stats activity, but this one's for vocabulary. So if you teach anything that requires vocabulary, you can always make a drop down for the answers. Look at how many answers are in here, right? So I mean, they can sit here and choose. Oh, that one was categorical. Right, I'm not even reading the questions. Students can definitely do that if they wanted to, but you can tell them they're not learning if they do that. But that's why I don't use a lot of the drop downs, but for younger students, this is really helpful. So you can utilize drop downs this way as well, kind of make it into a multiple choice type of question. So that's in there. And here is the answer key. I love this meme. But I don't want to use my head. I think that's how kids feel going back to school. Us teachers too, though. Okay, so here's another one. This one is for, this one utilizes both. So drop down menus and task card activities. So I thought this would be a really good one. This one is for properties of numbers. So the associative property, the commutative property, the distributive property, all those properties that we use. I use this one with my 8th grade class and will most likely be using it during the 7th grade ones too. Where do I get all the pictures for the reveals? It kind of depends. For these that I share for free, I just find a picture online. But if you are looking for something that you can sell online, I would use something like, oh my God, Instabay? I forgot what it was called. I haven't been making a lot lately, but I have a subscription for them. And I just find the images that I like from there so that it allows me to sell them on my Teachers Pay Teachers, if that's your question. But if I'm using them just for my personal use, I just find a funny image online. My students love memes. So like this one, right? Like it just something to make them laugh. So yeah, I just search the web. Here's this one. I hope that answers your question. Pixabay, that's what it's called. I was like trying to think about what's it called. But there's a lot of web pages that you can become a member for and use their images for that is copyright free. But okay, so this one, task cards, right? It has this little click on the tiny triangle to see the menu, choose a task card from the drop down. Right, so here's task card number 1, and it's asking them, what is this, right? The letters move, so this is the commutative property of addition because it is addition. So students would select from this list of properties. So that's that one, and I did post that into the chat. I am stumbling my words. Brain fog. I think it's because we're getting so close to the beginning of the school year. I am not ready to go back. I love my job though. I do. So I'm excited to see everybody and all of that. Definitely that excitement is there. But man, I've been enjoying my summer. All right. So here is this folder. I am going to share the link to the folder. Let me make sure it's the right one. Yeah. Okay. So again, this is just for those of you watching live. I will remove that link at some time throughout the live. So, but if you want this, just star the folder. Okay, I'm going to be using 2 of these in here, but if you notice, there are a ton of images here. This was a fundraiser that I did for my son a while back ago. We have, completely paid off that trip for him, but if you wanted to see any of those details, that's there. There are some activities in here that have task cards already and some that do not. There is a range from 9 questions all the way to 16, I believe. So just poke around and they're ready to go for, oh, it says you need access. Let me see. Oh yeah. There you go. I'm gonna share. You should be able to see it now. That was my plan, is to remove the access after. So I just reshared it, but you should be able to access it now. Just make sure you star it and then make copies of what you want. But once you click on it and then I restrict access, you should be able to keep that. So anyway, going back, thank you for letting me know. I am going to select one that has task cards and one that doesn't, so I can show you how to go from any template that doesn't have task cards into a template that does. And because I like a starting point. De nada. No hay de qué. So, let me see. I'm just looking for a fun one to use. There's so many. Ooh, let's use Bluey. I'm gonna use Bluey as my non-task card one. Ooh, this one has 20 questions. This is a good one. So I'm gonna use this one. And then I'm going to use, let's use something like very non-Bluey. Ooh, let's use this one. I am currently watching this anime, waiting for the new season. My son is obsessed. Jujutsu Kaisen. So here it is. This is the task card template. It has task cards in it. Oh, and it's also 20 questions, so that works out perfectly. I'm going to use these 2 to go back and forth. Then, though, I am going to create my activity on, I want one that doesn't have that many questions on it, though, so that it's not so redundant. Let's use this Shrek one. All right, so once I show you how to go from this to a task card template, I will share this in case you want it. And then I will close this one out, but this one will also be linked if you are watching the replay. Obviously, if you are here during the live, you have that. And then I will turn this Shrek one into an activity with the task cards in it. Okay, so just kind of breakdown of where this is going in case you need to fast forward if you're watching the replay. Okay, so let's put this off to the side. The first thing that I'm going to do for this activity is I need space to make my task cards. So I'm going to just select this, one of these. I'm going to select the B one, I think, because it's white, right? This page is white. And then I'm going to right click and then go insert column to the right. And then I am going to redo. I always like to have a large working space. And then I'm going to take this title all the way to C, and I'm going to same with the directions. I'm going to use this merge cells so that it merges them together. And then I'm going to delete what I don't need. So what I don't need is this question portion here, because I'm not going to be creating a question. So I'm going to delete this column. And I'm going to delete this column here. Okay, so I'm just kind of setting up what I want these task cards to look like. Then what I'm going to do is I need if you look at here, right, I need a portion for directions. I already have that here, so I'm not going to utilize any more space for that. And then I need a place to put my drop down, and then a place for my task cards to show up in. So I'm going to give myself, I'm just going to select a bunch. This will be my drop down menu. I'm going to merge it. And then I am going to just color it for you guys to see. I'll make these white after again. This is just for you to see what I did. And then I'm going to skip one, and I'm going to merge everything else at the bottom. That's where my task card's going to go. And again, I'll make this a different color so you can see what I did. Okay, those will turn white. I just like having that space in between. Okay, and then I'm going to resize all of this. Oh, that's way too big. If you really wanted to, you can keep just one, right? So let's delete this and just make one really big one. Doesn't really matter. I like merging stuff because it gives me more fields to work with, but I know that if you are not all that great with Google Sheets, it could get confusing. So again, you can use just one, or you can merge a bunch. Okay, so that's this one here. And then I need to take these answers and move them over here to the side. Yay! Thanks for being here. There's a link up there in the live that has the folder to all of the activities. So make sure you click on it right now since you're live. But it's right up there. Thanks for being here. Okay, so I'm going to take this one now, and notice how I have one for the numbers and then one for the answers. So I need two more. So I'm going to insert column to the right, another one, and then I'm going to insert an additional one because I want a border around the picture. Okay, and then I'm going to take these, and I'm going to Control X to cut it. You can't copy and paste here. You got to cut, because I want all of those formulas to come right with me. So Control X to cut, and then I'm going to paste. Now I can delete the extras here on the side. And then I want all of this to be uniform, so I'm going to select the E and the H, because that's what houses the numbers. And I'm going to resize E, and notice how H became the same size. And then I'm going to do the same for F and I, and resize it, and now they're the same size. So depending on what you end up doing, you might need a bigger size for your answer, and that's okay. I would just recommend that you size them at the same time where your answers are at, so that you can have them the same size. It's nice to be uniform. I gotta take a drink of my mate because my my throat's getting dry. All right, now that I have it set up and I like it, I am going to turn these back to white. And maybe I'll put a border around this so you can see them. But, there we go. Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That means you donated to my son's, so thank you so much for doing that. That's amazing. To his trip. It's next year. I can't believe it. He's graduating. Okay, so this is my true 100% the way that I work. I never want to start from scratch. I already did all this work, right? I already figured out how the formulas works. Like, I was the first person to make these puzzle activities using that sheet 2 and having them talk to each other and giving you a picture. I figured out how to cut the images up. I did all of that already. I don't want to have to go back and redo all that work, which is why I will never start from scratch. if you want to know how to do this from scratch, you can 100% watch that video where a lot of other people have learned from, but that's not going to be me ever again. I don't want to go back from the beginning because I have so many to pull from. And you do too if you are watching this live, because all the links are in the description. So what I need is, again, this menu, and I need this, the task cards here. Where the task card is at, that is where the formula is at, okay? So I'm going to view, show, formula bar. So again, view, show, formula bar, because this is the formula that I am going to copy. Okay, so I'm going to copy this formula. I'll put it in the chat as well, because I know that it might be hard to see on the screen. And then I'm going to go here and I'm just going to paste it. It's not going to work at the moment because we need to mess with it. There's nothing on sheet 2 yet. Okay, so the first thing is that C11 that you see on the formula, that is where your drop down menu is at. Okay, so mine is not on C11 for this Bluey activity, is on, I'm gonna hit enter. It's on C5, right? So it's still C, but it's starting on C5. So I'm going to change that first, C, and then from 11, I'm going to change that to 5. The next thing that it's saying is that your task cards can be found on sheet 2, which that is true. This is my sheet, is also called just the number 2, and they're starting on M200. Okay, M200. So let me go and show you what that looks like here. Right, so M200, if I go over here and I go to M200, this is where my task cards are at. So again, instead of starting from scratch, I am going to copy this. I am just copying it from this one, and I'm going to go over to the Bluey one, and I'm going to see if I have anything in M200, because I'm going to cheat at, oh look, just so happens that here they are. So I'm going to go to M200, and I'm going to paste that there. Bloop. Okay, so again, M200, and I pasted it into M200 again. This part here, the task card, task card, task card, this is what's going to end up going into your drop-down menu. Okay, so this is this needs to read exactly how you want it to show. Okay, so again, your M needs to read exactly how this menu is going to show. And then right next to it, this is where your task cards will go. So this is what will show up when you select this from the menu. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you notice, it didn't copy this image over. I have that image in my computer because I use it so much. So I'm going to go to insert image in the cell, and then I'm going to browse, and I'm going to find that image in my desktop because I know I got it somewhere. Here it is. I have it called arrow. I'm going to paste that in there. So you should have something similar. Maybe I'll post it. I'll post that image in my description as well. I don't have it right now as a link because I need, oh, let's do that. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to put it in this folder. So if you want that image, you can have it. Where is it? Without showing any of my personal information. It's called arrow. Do you guys see it? Oh, here it is. Bloop. Okay, now it's in that arrow. Now it's in that folder. If you want that image, it's in that folder as well. And I like using it because it already has, again, it has that little arrow that's like pointing towards the top. So it says click on the little triangle to see the menu. So I like the way that it's set up, so I always use the same one. And my students recognize it now since it shows up on every one of those activities. Elizabeth, that was also asked a little while ago. Honestly, I just look online. So I wouldn't put these up for sale, right? but I look at whatever my students are interested in, and I will just search the web for ones that I like. If you are, because again, I'm using them for my own classroom, so let's look at something. For example, I'll just go to Google, and usually I like to look for AI ones too, like AI created ones, because those are not, most of those are free to be used. So I'll look for like AI image of Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I'll just go to images. Hopefully nothing inappropriate shows up. But there's a bunch like this one, right? So I would just open it up, see if it's crisp. If it's crisp, I'll save it. If it's not, I will keep looking. But there's no real trick or anything like that. I just look for ones that are free to use. Like this one looks crisp. There's a bunch. But yeah, I would use one like this. They do take a long time, but I do try and figure out what my students are into, because obviously if you're using something that they enjoy and they like, you get instant buy-in with them. So luckily for me, at this point in my life, I have kids, so I can always ask them as well. So pull from their interests. But if not, I mean, I would poll students, see what they're into, and try and create those activities using that. But hopefully that answered your question. I know it's kind of a vague answer because I don't really have a method. I just Google. Okay, back to this part. Now we need to make, it still says NA. I'm going to bring this over to the center, and then I'm also going to text wrap. Okay, so center and text wrapping. And now I need to make this here. Okay, so remember that it needs to say it exactly like this, right? So I'm going to use that to my advantage, that I already have it copied and pasted there. So I'm going to right click here into C5, where my menu is going to go, and we are going to go to drop down. Okay, it didn't used to be this way. It wasn't this easy before. Before you had to go to data validation, and you can still do that. You can still go that way. But in one of the recent updates with Google, you can just add a drop down menu. So again, right click, drop down. And then notice how right here it says, like it has a way for you to add these. Instead of going from drop down, I'm gonna change this little thing, this criteria, to drop down from range. Okay, so drop down from range. And then I'm gonna select this little square here, which is now going to copy whatever range I select. So I'm gonna go to sheet 2, and then I'm going to select that range. Notice how it just automatically added that in there. All right, so again, you just click and drag. No clicking anything extra. It added that range for you. I'm gonna go to OK, and then you're gonna see that all of those came up here. I'm just gonna go to done. Go here to the side. I'm also going to put this in the center now. Now notice what happens when I actually select something. Choose task card. And there it is. That's it. Now this is working. Now that this is a functioning task card template. Let's put this in the center. And what we can do here now is clean it up. So I'm going to put this in the middle, and I'm going to make this, I think this is the longest one, so I'm going to make this nice and large. You can do the same for the font, right? We can make this font bigger. And there we go. Okay, let me share this in case anybody wants this. I just realized, darn it. All right, hold on. I gotta do something real quick, but I'm going to share this. Well, not yet. I don't know if you guys noticed what my soul left my body real quick. I never made a copy of this, so I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna go to File. This is a great learning experience. So 20, I'm going to make this task card. I'm putting it in that same folder that you have access to if you are here in the live. And then I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to go to history. You can always do this. And I am going to go to this one here and go to this morning. Let's restore from before. Go to this one. And oh, that's when I was changing that. Let's restore this version. I don't like that one. The colors. I hate that I can't see the colors. Is it this one? Maybe this one. I think this is after I change the... There we go. Okay. Now it's restored. Woo! And let's hide the formula bar. Okay, crisis averted. This one's back. And now I have a copy of Bluey with the task cards. So if you wanted Bluey without the task cards, and now you got Bluey with the task cards. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on that? This is how you go from a non-task card template to a task card template. You can do this with anything. You can do this with puzzles. You can do this with pixels. You can do this. So this task card menu is independent of anything else, right? So this is in addition to any of the normal templates that you have. So as long as you have one task card template that you can copy that formula from, you can make any activity that you have into a task card template, which is huge. I do use them a ton now because, right, word problems are a thing, graphs are a thing if you need to add graphs. So that's it. All right, so I'm going to close this out now. Let me share this one just in case you don't have access to the folder and you're watching it later. Now this is that this is the one with the task card now. And I'm going to hide the formula bar. And I'm going to close this out. I don't need this one. I'm going to leave this one up so that I can link it to the description after. And I don't need this one anymore. So I'm going to hide the formula sheet and close it. And this is the one now that I'm going to use to actually put task cards in and turn it into an activity. And the only reason why I'm choosing this one is because it only has 9 questions so that I'm not super repetitive, because I've been live, it says 37 minutes on the counter, and I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. You can always rewatch a piece. Okay, so as I am looking for what I'm going to do next, or thinking about it, I want to remind you, if you just joined, that I have an actual giveaway going on in YouTube. If you watch that video, it's called The Ugliest Bag in the World, and I'm giving away 2 Stanley Cups, and it closes next Friday. So just make sure you go enter, because you can win a Stanley Cup if you want one. You can see them in the image. Okay, so I like to use Canva. I think I have my Canva on my, there we go. I have my Canva open on my Safari, so I'm going to keep it there. All right, so I like using Canva. And the reason why I like using Canva is because some of their task cards are already created. So if you're going to make a task card like an image, if you are going to do text, well, all you got to do is go in here. So let me show you this. If I go to task card 1, oh, I'm not going to do this. Let's make a copy. I'm going to call this working. And I'm going to leave this one open here. I was about to do that again. So task card 1, right? If I type here, where the number 1 is, just go to, hello, my name is Jorgelina. Now that's what it says here. So if you just need text, you could just type in whatever like word problem you have here. Here is the word problem that is super duper long and text blah 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 blah. Trying to get that point across, which you probably don't need it. Oh, what did I do? Okay. I don't know what I clicked, but you could just type text and it's gonna show up on here. Okay, but if you wanted to know where to find actual task cards, that's when I like using Canva. Okay, so I'm just gonna search. I'm gonna search when you have the education side of Canva, there's a lot that are already created. So I'm gonna look for task cards for fractions. Fraction task cards. And Canva templates. Look at how many are here. There are already created. So, for example, these are dividing fractions. Here's a multiplying fractions one. Here is one with word problems. You're sharing a whole pizza equally with a friend. How do you slice the pizza? Right, so things like that. Oh, here's a multiplication one. Multiply to find the product. So here's another multiplication one. All right, so which one should I do? I want an easy one to just show. But again, I like using Canva. You can edit these, which is also why I like it. So customize this template. Right, and these are already created for you. They have these pretty little flowers on them. So let's use this one. So what I do here, now that it's created, I am going to just take a screenshot of them. The way that I would create, if I were creating my own task card from scratch, I would create one at a time per per sheet. Let me see if I can find any. I am all over the place today. This is the task card. This is the joy of being live, right? Oh, here's some that I've made. So, like this one. All right, so these are some task cards that I've made in the past. All right, here's one for unit rates. Here's one for solving equations. All right, so there's a bunch. So these are the ones that I've made. So I make them using Canva. Right, if you don't know how to use Canva, this is definitely not what this live is for. I'm not gonna get into it, but I like it because it has so many features. And if you're a teacher, you can get the pro version for free. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use this one that's already made because it's easy peasy. And I am going to just screenshot these. So here's one. Right, that's what I would do. Or the other thing that you can do, if you want all 4 of them and you don't need that many drop downs, then you can just download the whole thing and number these 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so you can do that as well. Just kind of giving you some ideas. I want task cards that are already made and nice. So let's go back to Canva templates. I want them to be one at a time. I know you can find them. Here's solving equations. Ooh, that's cute. I'm gonna get so carried away right now. I'm trying not to, but this is what I do. I get carried away. Probably should have had task cards made. Like I usually I'm a lot more ready for this. Okay, let's just go with that multiplication one that I was doing, because I can't make up my mind. So I'm gonna keep just screenshotting these. I'm gonna use the ones that are here just because they're already made. I need 9, I believe was my template. Had 9 questions. So this gives me 4 of them, and then I will finish them off. with something different after. It's not very Shrek-y, that's why. But I just want to show you how you would do it. So I'm probably not going to finish this one because I don't like the way that this looks. I'll finish it later and post it after. But again, this is where the task cards would go. So I'm going to delete this number 1 and I'm going to go to insert image in the cell. You can always drag and drop, but I'm just going to select that first one. Right, so that first one is 3 times 5. So that means that the answer for number 1 is going to be 15. 3 times 5. So when you go here, right now the answer is incorrect, but notice how this image just showed up. Right, so now the correct answer is 15. And there it is. So this is what I would do, right? So this is going to be multiplying or finding products. Select a task card and complete the multiplication problem. Type your answer in the correct spot. If your answer is correct, you will earn a piece of the puzzle. Again, I don't know why I'm... So that's the first one. And we're going to do the same for the next one now. So number 2, insert image in the cell. I'm going to select the next one. 6 times 7 is 42. So now I'm going to select the next one. Just make sure it works here. 6 times 7, and that is 42. So there's the puzzle piece that showed up. And I'm just going to keep going. Number 3, insert image in the cell. 8 times 2, 16. So now this piece went away. 8 times 2 is 16. And there it is. So that's all you would do. Again, you can use Canva, you can use Google Slides to make them. You can use PowerPoint. There's so many different tools that you can use to make the actual task cards. Or sometimes you have task cards that you already purchased, right? Like if you purchase something from Teachers Pay Teachers, as long as you're not going to be sharing it, right, because that belongs to someone else, you can always turn them into a self-checking activity for your own classroom by just taking those task cards that you already have and putting them into a template like this where students can work. Kids really like these as homework, right? Because they know whether or not their answer is correct. They're super easy to assign, right? If I go and I create a few more, here's 9 times 4, that's 36. Right, I can go through and very easily now using that Canva template, I could just change these. Right, so maybe I could just change one number, 5. Let's make this one 7. Let's make this one 9. And this one 10. And so I just changed them. And now I can screenshot them again. All right, I think I'm just going to finish. I know I said I keep changing my mind, but I'm just going to finish it off. If you want it with the pink background, it's a little weird, but maybe it'll be a conversation piece with your students. Why do you have flowers on the back of Shrek? But there's those. If you wanted to switch out the colors too, it's not that hard to do. We can change the colors here. All right, so I just made it green. Maybe like a dark green for Shrek. We can take these pictures off. We can go to Google and find some Shrek images. Let's see. Shrek transparent. Like this one. I'm looking for one that's, here's Lord Farquaad. That's a good one. Yep, that's funny. It's not crisp. I'm looking for crisp ones. This one's crisp. So now if you go to upload, again, just kind of working with the ideas that my brain is currently working with. Upload. There's that one. All right, so if you want to do something like that, you totally can. And then you would just screenshot this. Let's do these two. I love task card templates. They honestly give you so much room to play around with it. Let's put those in here. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll finish it off this way and then share it at the end of the day for this multiplication one if you want it. I'll just put other Shrek images because I'm going to like this so much better. So number 5 is going to be 20. And number 6, image and cell. Select the next one's 49. All right, so here's number 5. That looks so much better. And number 6 is 49. All right, so I think that's all I have for you right now. I am going to, I'll go ahead and share this in the, no, actually, I'm not going to put it in the chat because it'll be in the description later. It's not done yet. If you make a copy, it's going to be half done. But I'm going to go through before I share all the links and everything and finish this off with green background templates because I like how that looks better. So that's all I have. If you are interested in any of the things that I shared, make sure you check the description once the live is done. If you have any other questions, let me know in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. I'll stick around and just kind of work. I'll probably be silently to try and finish that off, but I won't be sharing really anything else until I'm done with this one. I'm going to finish off that template. Oh, here's Gingy. Love him. Oh, he's not crispy though. Is that the same image? I want Gingy. Alright, let's use this one. All right, but let me know if you have any questions. If you're here live right now, scroll through the chat because I'm gonna erase it soon. Actually, let me just reshare it. But I shared this block reveal. Can you do a live someday on how to use Canva? Ooh, sure, Shelly, I could do that. I am by no means an expert on Canva. I have just kind of taught myself how to use it throughout the years. I do use it heavily, so I can share some tips and tricks and we can kind of learn together. My next live though is going to be on Friday, so I'm going to do it a week from yesterday because it'll be my last summer live. And then I'm still going to go live once a week, but I got to figure out how that's going to be once I'm back to teaching. So I'm going to do it Friday at 4 p.m. my time, which is Pacific Standard. And I'm going to talk about this really cool workbook that I made for state testing. So if you are a state tester, or if you have students that need to practice for the state test, that's going to be a good one. So I made a really good workbook that students can use in the course of 12 weeks, where they're only practicing one problem a day to prepare for the state test. So it's just kind of like a warm-up. So I'm going to be sharing that. Again, if you're just catching the live now, make sure that you take a look at that folder, because I am going to be removing access after. It's just for those of you that are catching me live. It has over 60 templates here that you can use that are already made. Oh, yay! Yeah, I have tons. So I'll keep sharing them. Shelly, make sure you take a look at the other lives. There's a playlist on my channel because I've shared so many templates in there. Let me see what else do I have in the stats world. I have a lot, because let's share something. Why not? I know, that group is so awesome. Same thing, right? Make sure you go to the Pixel Art Mysteries and Education group. I share tons in there. I mean, I've shared so much. I'm not the only one that shares. Let's see, what do you want? Let's see, Unit 1. Ooh, this is a good one. Here, I'll share this one. This is for the beginning, how to do the one variable statistics using the calculator. There you go. Bame. I love this activity. So one variable statistics using the calculator. So here's this one. If you teach AP Stats, it's hard to come by activities for AP Stats, like good ones. Let's see, I'm trying to find ones that I really liked. Oh, these are funny. I've shared these in the group though. If you look up my name in the AP Stats group, you're gonna find I've shared a bunch already in there as well. Ooh, here's another one with drop downs. This is for binomial distributions. There you go. Oh, then you don't need this. I'll keep making more though. I like in the TBT bundle, there are a lot of scavenger hunts. Those took me so long and they are so good. The kids love those. Like towards the end of the year, especially when you start getting called out to do things like at the district, so you need a sub day or you get sick, those are really good for that. I think one of my previous lives was on scavenger hunts, and that's what I use them for sub days. Oh my goodness, that is so many students. My biggest year, I had 210. I had 6 classes, and there was 210 total, and over 100 of those were AP Stats students. Oh man, grading that year was a nightmare. But good luck on the new school year. Super exciting. Again, I'm not ready to let go of summer yet, but I am also ready to go back. It's always exciting. Oh, Diana, I didn't talk about that in this live, but I can show you real quick. There is another live. I think it was my first one. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I'll show you which one it is. But I'll share with you the page that I use. It's actually so easy to do. So, is it this one? Puzzles. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Yep, it's this one. Okay, so let me share this one. In this live is where I showed that. So in this one, all I did was show how to make the task cards. So what I use is this page here. You can find it in the description of that live. It says page to cut up images, Pine Tools. Let me just quickly show you, and I'll share this one too. but this is the page that I use. So it's super easy to use. You just select like the image that you want to cut up. So let's say we're going to do, I guess it doesn't really matter which one I use. Let's use this Shrek image, right, that I just found. And you're going to go to both. So how to split the image, vertically or horizontally. Usually we want it in blocks. And then let's say we want like a 5 by 5. Right, so you select how to cut it up vertically and horizontally, and then you just hit this split image, and it gives you all the little pieces here. It's that easy. And all of these are going to be exactly the same size. And then you just go to download. I like to download the whole folder because it gives you an entire folder. Oh, here's a folder. And it labels them for you and everything. So these are the little pieces. And this one doesn't have a background, so it's kind of hard to see because it was a PNG. But that's the page that I use, super simple. Since you just joined, Diana, though, make sure that you go back up and download that folder, because I'm gonna remove that. It's just for those that are joining live. It has so many that are already created. So this folder here, I'll put it one more time. Of course, there's so many. I'm telling you, there are tons in there. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do. And also check out that video for the giveaway, the Stanley Cups giveaway, because I am going to close it on Friday, and then I'm going to go live the following Tuesday, just for like a couple seconds to draw the winners, because there'll be 2 live, and then I'll just send those out. I'm a Stanley Cup girl, but I don't like those 40-ounce ones. But if you're in the classroom and you want to take your own water, I mean, that works for a classroom, right? The giant water bottle. I don't like carrying those around. All right, we hit the 1 hour mark. I am done sharing what I wanted to share. I will absolutely finish this activity, though, with the multiplication. And then I will share this in the Pixel group. So if you're not in the Pixel group, that's my group with Julianne and Debbie, and that's definitely where I always share all those free things. Maybe I should share the group. Here it is. Let's close this. All right, so make sure you go there. This is always where I announce right when I'm going live. My next live is going to be, again, on Friday. I'm going to be talking about state testing, but I'm going to be talking about how to make activities for students. Let me see if I can. Ooh, I can't log into it right now because I would have student information. I need to make a copy that doesn't have that, but I made a very big workbook, and I just kind of want to talk about that. And I used Canva for that. So for Shelly, I think it was you, Shelly, that you asked about Canva. So I'll do it on the next one. I'll talk about that there. I'll set it up to show how I use Canva to make that. Did I use my personal Canva? Let me see. I think I used my teaching one, though. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to be showing how to do. Right, so again, it's 12 weeks of state testing practice. I did this during the year. It worked out great. Our entire math department used it. So I'm just going to share some tips and tricks on how to make workbooks using Canva. So that'll be the next one on Friday. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. If you missed any part of it, just go back through and watch the pieces that you need. And look out on the Pixel group for the next activity. This one, when it's completed, I'll make sure to share it there. Have a great day.